Yes, we're back right in the crew with the two sexy bastards. Enough said.
Sexy bastards. By the way, lads, we had a wee bit of scare. We've actually been in here for an hour and Zai's been on the pan. What was that about, mate?
He smelt it when we walked in.
That woman's worried about you.
The woman's complaining. The wee cleaner's complaining.
What is going on, mate? You're never like that.
What are you eating?
Just healthy eating, innit?
You don't keep yourself right.
Just
what is healthy eating?
Don't get cheekbones like this eating shite, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Cans of Red Stripe.
Bottles, son.
You on the bench for Rangers last night? Is that the warm-up talk?
Listen, you're like God man, aren't you? You just sits there and snorts gear and all that. You live all that. What do you do?
What's that hanky?
Castor.
Is that what you were doing in the toilet? Is that the hankies for?
Aye. No, God, no.
Soaks.
The days have gone.
COVID, Derek, how are you, mate?
I'm fine.
Fighting.
Well, worried about you, mate.
Don't worry about me. I slept for about 4 days.
Aye,
4 days in a row. That's that. Lost my taste for 2 or 3 days, and it was kind of weird.
You lose everything else, did you?
No, I didn't have your kind of problem. I know.
Were you opposite?
Well, no, the opposite. But, you know,
Are you a horny dog? Are you a horny dog, but?
No,
You walk by the window,
no horny like him. I'm fine.
As long as you're alright, too.
As long as you're alright.
So no tongue in that, no kissing that.
Easy tiger. No, I'm fine. Listen, it's not pleasant. Don't get me wrong. So, but no, I'm fighting fit.
Producer said after last week, wouldn't he? If you're knowing a game, we'll need to scrap it.
Sure.
Need somebody with that type of head, didn't we? Calms you down.
It was just a carry on, wasn't it? The only person in the world that can't get COVID, Grosvenor.
Beat it, innit?
They're the only one that's beat it.
Did they not come up
They've
with
cured it. They came up with the vaccine. Grosvenor came up with the vaccine, so. Right, lads, the offer for today. For all open goal customers.
Customers.
And we can't call them customers, all open goal
fans,
followers,
followers.
Cool.
The part of us in there.
The clan.
Enter code Macca Hardon to get a 25%. Enter code open goal 25 to get a 25% odds boost. Odds boost, there you go. There's a wee boost.
That's a bit, I don't need the
Macca boost on any Scottish market available for the first 250 customers.
There you go. Get on quick, yes.
Go on quick.
Get on quick.
You like to go on quick, don't you?
Get on quick and
So there you go. I know we're having off, but sad news.
Aye.
Tuesday morning. Walter Smith, what a legend of the game. Derek, where were you when you found it, when you heard?
Do you know something I was potting about in the kitchen? I've got TalkSport on as usual. Coisty was hosting the show.
He was brilliant on it, wasn't
he? He is brilliant as usual. I'm in a group chat for the boys for the 1980s. Some of the guys that obviously I played with, good pals with, and one of the boys texted us, in the group chat. And honestly, it's one of the moments I didn't expect it. Obviously, because I saw pictures of Walter 4 or 5 weeks ago. He was on the golf course. Although he was looking thin, but he was out, looked smiling. And it took a while, and I shouted Carolyn, and we sat there, and I thought, is it a mistake? Is it real? And I'm listening to Coisty, and Coisty's bubbly and having a carry on, and I went, and right away, I was thinking about Coisty, because I know how close Coisty is, Durante as well. And I'm thinking, wow, what's going to happen when he comes off air? And I still wasn't sure, but then it was confirmed, it came on, that he'd sadly passed away. And I've got to say, I thought Coisty, he was immense. I thought he spoke beautifully.
He must have been on when he heard it.
Well, not because I'm listening. It was surreal because I'm sitting there, and it's like, I says to Slaney there, it's like being hit with a truck, it took the wind out my sails. I just couldn't fathom it, has he gone? And then I'm listening to Coisty, and obviously Coisty didn't but he come back on 25 minutes later, it was Jim White's show, and he just spoke brilliantly about him. And what was nice to hear was because Coisty's seen the other side. To me, Walter he was my coach at Rangers for 4 years, and listen, we all know he was top drawer, but the one thing I remember, and it was nice that Coisty spoke about the other side, about becoming his pal and how Walter was a good family man, and I could see that. But to me, as a young up-and-coming player, the one thing that Walter had with me was time. He took a bit of time because remember Graham came in as manager. Graham was fiery, quite abrasive, to say the least. And I think the one thing about Walter, he was the glue that held that dressing room, in my opinion, together. Because when we go to maybe for Graham, you know, a bit of stick, Walter would pick and then choose his moments to come and just have a wee quiet word with you, you know, just to pick yourself up, pick me up, pick the other, no, everybody. But that's the one thing about Walter, he had time for you. And I think that's, in this day and age, you know, whether you're a coach, whether you're just a normal guy going about their business, I think time is everything, you know, and especially, I don't want to say, we're getting a wee bit older now. Time is everything, you know, and I mean, you get a special guy like Walter.
Everybody.
You know,
Did he, Frank?
He did. He was bright. We went on a trip. It was called the World Cup, and he was the assistant manager, and he was brilliant. He just got a laugh with the boys, but he was serious with Fergie, and he's just a wonderful guy, you know. You know, he's a great lad.
I said a number of years ago, and it was interesting because I saw a quote for Graham Souness, that it was his best ever signing. And I said that a number of years ago. Forget about all the players that have came and gone to Rangers over the course of the years. Graham Souness, that was the best decision that he ever made from a football point of view, bringing Walter to the football club. Because, I mean, his knowledge was second to none. You got to remember, Graham was still playing.
So Walter, that World Cup, it was the World Cup.
And Walter took a lot of the coaching sessions. But do you want to know something? I hope this sounds right, and I hope I'm getting it right. To me, Walter was just a normal guy.
Jim McAnally said that to me.
Just a normal guy. You know, a normal, down to earth.
Loved a laugh.
Aye.
He was so funny. He was serious when he had to be, you know, but it was, you know, he was, loved a laugh. That's what I remember, his laughter.
I obviously left Rangers. I was 3 years at Hearts, and then I went down to Sunderland. And I can't even remember what the function was. I was back up in Glasgow in one of the hotels. I don't know, it was a award ceremony, whatever it was. And I was at a table, and it was with Walter, and I hadn't seen Walter for about 5-6 years. But this time, Walter's obviously, I think he's won 3-4 titles by that time. He's probably come into it financially, probably secure, get a few bob. And I remember sitting down, and I was sitting beside him. And the brilliant thing is, he hadn't changed one bit at all. He could have sat there, you know, and you know, sometimes money changes people, fame changes people. Never changed Walter Smith. He was just the exact same, and he just wanted to know, how's your family? How are you doing? And all that. He was a class act.
It was funny when he went to St. Gaza, he went out to Italy. Oh. It's brilliant. He tells he went out to St. Paul, and he didn't know he was coming, so he pressed the gate. Who is it? It's Walter Smith. And you come the gate open, and when I'm in, his pal came out, and Paul Gaza came flying around the corner in one of the quad bikes. He says, what are you wanting? He says, I'm out to see if you'll sign for the Glasgow Rangers. He says, aye, all right. Fucking drove away. And he said, I'm sitting there, he's sitting there with his pals. One in, he's sitting there all sitting, watching, playing games and all that kind of big screen. And he's sitting there and don't know what to do. And Paul comes back and says, what are you doing still here? He says, you talk to him. He says, I told you I'd sign. That was it.
That was it done?
That done, brilliant.
It has been.
That's Paul, and he says he was just lit. Paul says that he came out yesterday and says he was lit.
I seen his tribute like a father figure.
Brilliant.
Some of the people,
Dan Fletcher, that was the best.
Ronaldo, good on it.
Unbelievable.
Very good.
You know, that's. I mean, I know people have a go at me and say you're old school. That's old school, what he done. And it worked. You know, you can imagine doing that nowadays.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to do it, but Ronaldo became the player he is.
Just like people kick him, wasn't it? Huh?
I know.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Because he needs to learn.
Yes.
Did you ever meet him, Si?
Told you that one time we played the final of the Scotland game under 19s against Spain. And you only get it with a couple of people. When he walked in that dressing room, man, it's like, and the speech I said it before, the speech he gave me before we went out to play Spain, hairs on your arms standing on end. Just had a presence about him, didn't he?
And the important thing is as well, cross the divide. You know, I'm talking about Coisty. Coisty's like that, you know, the divide, the Rangers, Celtic, obviously. And I think Walter comes into that category. It's well documented with Tommy Burns. I thought it was a brilliant decision to bring him on board into the Scotland camp, you know, because obviously Tommy, a massive Celtic fan. But again, you know, great with players like Walter, you know, and I think that's important that, listen, we know we're sitting, I know how to use our Celtic daft, I'm Rangers daft, but the one thing we've got for each other, we can have a laugh, we can have a wee dig at each other at times.
Respect.
But the respect, it shines through, you know, and I think that's so important.
When he was at Scotland and Walter and Coyster were going to Rangers, Tommy played the joke and
he came in to Celtic saying he was going to Rangers.
Saying he's going to Rangers and they're all like, what? He says, I'm sorry, I've been offered better money. And kid on his flinging his bag, his boots and all that. Warm to it and they're all like that. You can talk. But that's the same, him and Walter got on brilliant. And it's the same sense of humour, they're the same, Coyster's the same.
Yeah.
Great sense of humour, you know, to play for with A3.
Must have been brilliant.
It would have been brilliant.
Did you see the interview with Tommy and Walter when they were Celtic and Rangers manager? Sky put it yesterday. Standing next to each other, talking about the game. Obviously, this is before a Celtic Rangers game. And then they're talking about getting a drink after it. It just seemed like completely different times. And it was a great interview.
Aye.
And there's
the one with Chick Young, bro.
That's the great thing.
That's the one.
I seen another one yesterday with Chick Young that I've not seen before. When he asked him if Haley's going to be fit at the weekend.
It's brilliant.
Have you seen it, mate? Walter Smith just going for Chick Young. It's brilliant.
It's class. And you heard Coisty talking about this sense of wicked sense of humour. I maybe never seen that because I was a player under him, but it's brilliant to listen and to hear a lot of the players that have you know, been in his company away from the football. You know, even I think it's Laudrup had spoke about at the end of the season that he would invite Laudrup up to his house for a bite to eat. I mean, it's quite, that doesn't really happen in this day and age, but and that's how I'm saying he was and I hope that sounds right. I hope it's, you know, he was a normal guy, but he was class, you know, and just somebody that you just says it. You know, that aura when people walk into a dressing room. Did Souness have it? Aye. Did Walter have it? Of course. Guys like Ray Wilkins, we were talking about, you know, just class people, man. So, and be sorely missed.
Laudrup was good yesterday when he says, you know, it was like, when he came to sign him, he wasn't doing too well in Italy. And he says, I'll give you the freedom of the park. He says, one condition, you win me the title.
That's it, aye.
Win me the title, you get the freedom of the park. And, like that. And all of a sudden he became the superstar again.
Derek,
I always wanted, but he lost that.
Derek Seaman, he was your assistant manager. Was there any memories that really you can remember really stood out?
The big one was the Scottish Cup final. I had been injured. I'd dislocated my shoulder coming up to it, but I'd proved my fitness about 10 days to 2 weeks out. So I thought I was going to at least make the bench. On the way up to the game, one of the directors,
I remember you telling that.
He come up to us and told us maybe next year it's not happening for you, kind of thing. And I was stunned, gutted, right? So I didn't quite believe it. Gets in, dressing room, Souness names the team and the bench, I'm not there. So after the game, we've been beat 1-0, wee Joe scores the winner. And as you do, you go back to Ibrox, whether it was going to be a party or just you be together, you win together, you lose together. But I kind of spat the dummy a wee bit, I was feeling a wee bit sorry for myself. And I think it was me and Ian McCall, we grabbed a couple of bottles of champagne, went out into me. I don't even like champagne, I hate it. I just grabbed a couple of cans of lager. And I was sitting in the main stand, feeling a wee bit sorry for myself, and then out of the blue, Walter come up. And I went, oh no, I'm banging trouble here. And then he just came and I thought he was going to get through us. And
take some champagne off you.
But he never, do you want to know, he came out and he says, listen, he says, I apologise. And I looked at him. He says, I apologise for how you found out that you weren't going to be involved. That should have never happened. And he went, listen, get yourself downstairs with the rest of the boys. He says, we've took a sore one today, but come on, let's get together and, you know, remember that. And I thought, he didn't need to do that. He didn't need to come out and apologise, you know, but I went downstairs and, you know, drowned my sorrows with the rest of the boys. But just wee things like that, you know, and that meant a lot at the time because it was the end, obviously Scottish Cup, end of the season. And as I say, like I mean, that was a be all and end all for me. I just wanted to be involved in football and cup finals, but for Walter to come and take that time, that's what I keep saying. It's just that time. He didn't need to do that.
No.
But he did, so.
Jim McAvennie told me a story about that. Jim got his first job at Morton. He says, when I started out at Morton, he says, I'm struggling. He says, never started doing my goal. He's having a bit of a nightmare. Walter Smith phones him like 3 weeks into the Martin job and says, I've been watching your games, your goalie's no playing as well. He says, I'll give you a boy for Rangers, a young boy for Rangers that'll do you a turn.
It's amazing.
Obviously, watching Morton games that mate tells you the detail that he would watch Scottish football. Phone Jim up, put the goalie into him, says the goalie was brilliant for him.
And he's a guy that wanted to see people do well in football. You know, and you've heard, and I mean, we can't sit here and name them all, but you see managers involved at the moment that they know that he took time. You phone them up, wee bit of advice. Look at Stephen Gerrard yesterday. Was it the other day, Tuesday, my head's early place. He was in bits, so that tells you everything about Walter Smith. I just didn't. I know, it's terrible.
Yogi said yesterday as well when he lost the Hibs job, first person to phone him as well, Walter Smith.
Wow.
When he got sacked for Hibs, he said that on Hibs TV last night. Yogi.
He's just, even when I was in bother, he was like, he just used to have a laugh at me, but it's good, get your head, guys, you call me nutcase. Just sad.
Great
guy, he just phoned, didn't have to phone anybody or speak to anybody, but it does.
Yeah.
You know.
See, when he was the assistant, did the boys know that he would have then went and been the manager? Did they have that about him?
Oh, he definitely had
tell.
him.
As I say,
He didn't cross. Even when he was assistant manager at Scotland, cross him at your
that was
peril.
Souness's biggest mistake.
He could lay into you, aye.
See when Souness left to go to Liverpool, you know, and you know that was going to be the draw for Souness. For him to be a success, he had to have took Walter with him. But thank God, I'm obviously talking from a Rangers point of view, that he didn't leave. Because it was just, it was probably his dream job, you know, and he put his life and soul into the football club. And but to answer your question, was he a manager ready in the making? Of course, because his knowledge of the game was second to none, and how he manages, for my take, how he could manage players was different class. He knew when to have a wee dig at you, but he knew how to just kind of bring you back up a bit. And that's an art.
They're the best managers, aren't they?
It's an art. And it was simple. He could bring you down once.
Oh, he was hard as nail. You would not mess with Walter. That's one thing. Whether it was, you could tell when he was angry, and he didn't need to shout and bawl. It's been well documented, that look, you know. So you knew you had to be it. But the thing from a coaching point of view, you said old school, it was simple. Instructions. It wasn't anything complicated. It wasn't rocket science. It was just simple stuff. Do it well. You know, if you didn't do it well, he'll let you know. But no, just a guy. And I've come across very few of them in my career. But he was the one that when Walter spoke, you listened, and he got his point across, and it was simple but straight to the point, and you just you got it.
Greatest ever Rangers manager?
I would think so.
Definitely.
Well, we talked obviously with Bill Struth, and Bill Struth I think won more trophies, league title, whatever. But for me, you know, what Walter done for the club, and it's not just been what he won, it's how he done it, how he conducted himself.
The respect
what an ambassador.
Even when Rangers were winning, the respect he was getting from. You know, from
and the
Celtic
respect
boys,
that he showed to not just Celtic, every other manager, player, you name it. And this is the thing that when I'm talking about the players, I could imagine how at the time when I was at Rangers, you know, or the staff behind the scenes, you know, well, they'll be absolutely devastated like we are, because as I says, he always had a wee but a time we chat with you. It's important. It's important
at Rangers.
It's a shame. See, another thing about him, it sums him up. His grandson played with Celtic. See, I was coached under 11s at Celtic. His grandson came in and played at Celtic for a couple of months, and every Sunday he'd be down at Barrafield watching his grandson playing with Celtic. I don't know if the people would want me to say that.
Well, I tell you something.
I
had one of my boys played with Celtic.
Martin Miller told me that.
Brilliant.
He's wearing the red at the minute, so he was there for a short spell.
Good.
Yeah.
You know.
So now one we let go.
Another
one we let go.
Listen, I just wanted my boys to play football, but that's just. But listen,
strange seeing him at Barrafield to see his ball standing watching his.
It's amazing, isn't it?
He's cautious. He's so proud of watching his grandkids play football.
Yeah,
brilliant.
And that was the brilliant thing with Coyce talking about him. You know, he was speaking about Walter as a father, and I know his family. I tell you what, his two boys are a real credit to him. Great lads. I met, I think they were working for Rangers TV a number of years ago, and I did bumped into him a couple of times, but very respectful, as you would expect, you know, just the same as Walter.
Statue, Paul?
It's got to be.
A stand named after him?
Got to be.
I think
If anyone deserves something, it's him.
Yeah.
They'll not get, I mean, John Craig was an icon, wasn't he? He was a big legend, but Walter, he's good. They've got to do something.
I think we'll take a wee bit of time, take stock of everything, and then come up with the right decision, whether it's whether it's going to be a stand or a statue or whatever. But listen, he's in there, you know, and that's the important thing with all the Rangers supporters, where you call it the Rangers family, you know. Tell you what struck me as well, I mean, you know, my three boys, I've met the two older ones, the Hydro, you know, it's really struck me how they were affected by him, you know, his passing, you know, so they never really, you know, well, it's no known Walter, but they know of him and what he's done for the club, but to see how it affected them, you know, so, aye.
Sad.
Right, mate, we're on to the midweek card.
Let's cheer this up a bit.
Let's cheer it up.
Aye.
Who you want to start with? You want to start with Celtic, Rangers, Dundee? You can choose, Paul.
I think, listen, I always like starting with the biggest talking points, do you know what I mean? And it's no because, but the Rangers game last night.
Yes.
If you're Aberdeen, you must be, and that's the one you feel for is Aberdeen. I mean, they've had a lot of.
You were very critical of them last week.
A lot of criticism through the whole country.
Of course, I was as well.
As a manager, do you know what I mean? And then they go there. It's never a penalty.
Slaney, can I say something? Obviously, I wasn't here, and I listened to you last week. I thought you were spot on. I thought you were bang on the money. I thought you spoke very well.
I thought you spoke all the shite, but
we didn't sleep for days, did we?
I thought you spoke really well. There you go.
But the penalty last night, it's not a penalty, is it?
No, it's not.
No, it's not a penalty.
Listen, you can't say it was a penalty.
No,
even you. Even you. But I mean, listen, I'm not being funny, but Chris Boyd, people love him or hate him. He's a big Rangers man. Even he says a soft penalty. Now, when he says soft, that means it's not even close.
I don't think it's a free kick for the first goal there. Lewis makes a good tackle for me.
God.
Aye, and they were fortunate to get the free kick. Yeah. But then again, you can look at Aberdeen's defending. It was poor. But Rangers.
How can you leave Morelos on his own in the box?
Crazy. It's crazy, and it's not even that. You try and block his run or whatever. Yeah. But that's what, last night. When I watched the whole game, Rangers looked dangerous for set pieces, but that was it.
You know, why Davis was the playing one. He's a big one for.
Well, that's the one thing. You know, you always kind of. It's easy in hindsight, you know. But for me, when it comes to the bigger games, I think you need somebody like Davis in there. I'm not going to pick in certain individuals because as a collective, they weren't at it.
I know.
You normally look at a game last night and you pick one or two that played well. Yeah. I can't even think of one Rangers player that excelled. You talk about Morelos. I saw Morelos done last night for me. The wee fella, he's an idol of the Rangers support. Well, he needs to start giving a little bit more back in terms of, you think of him 2-3 years ago when he was in that side, he had that physicality.
What was it, his work rate last night there, or just his quality on the ball?
His work rate's not there. Yeah. Listen, and he's always going to get chances playing in a Rangers side, but he has, I think, in my opinion, a lot of people disagree with me, he's got to do more. And I can see Steven Gerrard getting frustrated with him.
Was it 5 and 20 or something, or 5, whatever it is, and he says it's not enough. No, it's not good enough for Rangers.
There's one thing, when you play with Rangers, and whoever, it doesn't matter, you can't go through the motions. And that's what he has been doing for the last number of games. So, but quite a few of them as well. Aye. You know, they need a wee look at themselves.
They're missing Kent.
But he's in that spark, didn't he, Kent?
Kent, I think they're missing. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of his, but you know, Ryan Jack, when I remember says last year, he's now ready for the Scotland squad. I think they miss him because he's got an influence in there.
He plays at a tempo, doesn't he? Of course he does. Ryan Jack.
What did Gerrard mean after that?
Is that him that was in here last week when we left?
Yeah.
Did two of them come in, two boys come in, was that one name Ryan Jack? No. No.
See last night.
Thank God they never says hello to him.
See on last night, and we're talking about it, you look at that midfield, you had Lundstrom, Aribo and Kamara. I never saw them in the game whatsoever. Maybe you could credit.
I think Davis brings out the best in an Aribo and a Kamara because he goes and gets up the back foot. I don't know if Lunson's got that.
And it's that influence. Him just being there is important in the bigger games. And
how long has he got to be there?
Aberdeen's a big
43 now or something.
But he's still fit as a fiddle. But it's that influence that Si's talking about. You need the type of guys on the park because he gets other ones playing, and that's the important thing. But no, they were poor.
I seen Gerard come out saying there's an identity crisis. What does that? Is that?
I don't know who they are.
But is that down to the almost stopped doing the good things that? Or is it?
Well, I think they're slower this year. I think they're slower and they build up their play.
But Rangers' identity last year would being very good off the ball in terms of their work rate, pressing the ball. And if you look, guys like Morelos not doing it.
Even when they got the ball,
I'm glad you said that because I think that's dead important what you've just said because that's what I thought Rangers were. Different class at last year when they didn't have the ball. They all done it together. And as you know, it only takes one or two not to be doing that and the whole thing goes to pieces. Look at Man United. Against Liverpool. Liverpool destroyed them. Why? Because all it takes is one or two of them not to press, and they just pick you off.
They were strolling about Man United.
But look at Celtic when Ayeti plays up front compared to when Kyogo plays up front.
Kyogo, there you go. He's a trigger. He's a trigger. And once he goes, they all go. And I don't see that same... Take away, you can't always play brilliant. We know that I play really well. But what should be a given is you work your backside off for the first minute of the 94th, 90, whatever it is. And I don't think, and if they're honest and they sit in a dressing room the day or whatever it is, doing the recovery, if they're asked that question, did you work as hard as you could against Aberdeen?
No.
I don't think they did.
I told you the best. The best thing I know, it's so good. When I was at West Ham, there's a big mirror at the front of the door when you walk in the door.
What was that thing you used to do in the mirror?
The manager used to tell you, have a look in the mirror, and if you can look in the mirror after 90 minutes, I'll not shout at you. If you can tell, because you're not kidding yourself on.
Imagine I went first to look in the mirror.
You know.
Nobody else could see it.
No, but you know if you played well or not. You don't have to come in, so I know.
No, mate, you're gorgeous, but I don't know what I just say Rangers are poor because you need to give Stephen Glass credit. And I argue Andrew Halliday, he can't go and press Rangers high at the pitch.
They did.
That's what I would do. That's what Rangers to kick the ball up to that front three.
But the important thing is when they done it last, they kind of recognised that they had a wee opportunity, and when they went, they done it.
They were
and they got their
confident last year because if you try to press them, they were good at putting the ball out and putting it. They'll work together last year. I think there's a lot of them as individuals now.
Yeah.
I just think
Aberdeen excellent.
I really do. I think there's a few individuals at Rangers, whereas last year everyone worked together. That was the thing, especially with the defence. You can see how they worked and what they were ready.
It's like Hibs last night, right? Hibs waited till they were 3 down before they went and pressed Celtic high up the pitch for goal kicks.
Why?
Think of the front three, Jota, Kyogo and Mikey. The one thing I'd be wanting them to do is kick the ball up to them so my centre half can come and head of the ball. But they let them play out and Celtic just played through them for the first 30 minutes. I didn't get that.
I think Rangers missed a trick last night. Aberdeen 3 at the back, Brown's back in there playing with Bates as well, and young Dino and Ojo were playing a wide area. There was so much space down the sides, and instead of Rangers trying to build, do you know something? It was just a simple ball.
Put the ball down the side then.
A wee bit more direct. Don't play 5, 10 passes to get up the park. 1, 2 passes, you're down the side, get them turning and you're at them. And they failed to recognise that. So I think it was a poor night for the players' point of view, but everybody. But I'm not wanting to have too much a go because, as I say, there was a lot of emotion going on last night and all that. And sometimes you become a wee bit clouded.
Sometimes, I think sometimes on a pitch, you've got to change it. It's not doing it, manager. You've got to change it yourself. Somebody's got to say, look, this is not working. Change it and do it, and then speak to the manager after it or half time. Say, look, we had to do it because there was.
Players take everything literally thrown in front.
They can't do that. I know. But they're doing that's just the way the game is.
I
think that's what happened last night. I don't think anyone took responsibility.
Because there was so much room for Bassey in that left-hand side, certainly in the first half. And as I say, recognise that as a player and play it, But maybe they're told how to play, how they want to build up, but just do it, off the cuff.
Right, I'm going to say something. If you watch that first half of the Celtic game and you're telling me that fullbacks coming in does not work, never coming back, it was honestly, right, it's not to do with me, Celtic. That first half is some of the best football I've seen in Scottish football for years. It was fucking unbelievable. It could have been 6-0.
But that's because you've just spoke about it. They didn't press. When teams are pressing Celtic, doesn't work.
No, it can still work.
Well, you just said
it can still work.
Listen, every free kick, every time we're bombing up the park, I was like, the defence is all over the place. I don't care what you say.
Joe Hart's only had two. Joe Hart's only had 2 saves to make in the game. 2 good saves, but he's only had two saves to make.
Aye. Listen, that's just my opinion. You've got to get. Listen,
I was just saying that how the first half is. Honestly,
watch it.
Hibs sat back, and listen, middle to front. Celtic are up there with the best. There's no problem. But you come up against the good teams, and Celtic can beat the Champions League, the Europa League. They're getting turned over with decent players.
I know, but that's Leverkusen.
So are we going to?
And he's only been in the job 3 months.
So we're just going to say, right, okay, we'll just leave it. We'll go and beat St John. We'll go and beat Hibs. That's great. I want Celtic. This is what I want. I want Celtic to get the Champions League group stage every year.
But you give me a chance of getting the Champions League in the long run playing like that.
Yeah. Do you know? I hope so. I mean,
he's not going to come in after 3 months and beat Bayer Leverkusen, who beat Bayern Munich and teams like that. But if he does it for like 18 months,
I did say last week, I think he's got to get players in that's comfortable with that.
Yeah, and he will work though, won't he?
I hope so. You know, I hope so. I don't think he's got to change. Because I would like to see Double G and Kyogo up front. I would love to see you two play together.
The big man up front, right?
Because,
but then that goes away for his 4-3-3.
I know that, so it's not going to happen. Yeah. But I just love to, because I think when you play him up, you're going to keep Kyogo in the team because he's playing that well. So you're putting him out wide.
I think you're
just loses everything. Well,
I think it's time goes on, especially the start of next season when you see the qualifiers. You think you'll see a completely different to what you've seen. Obviously, it was half a team at the start of the season. Yeah. Half a team. You see, any player with Klopp and Pep when they first come in, they need to get some players out, need to players in. The style takes a bit of time, but what we're seeing. That being said, if I'm Jack Ross and start playing brilliant football, but I can see 2 for corners, not acceptable. Yeah. Not acceptable for that. I mean, if you're going to play against Celtic and Rangers, they might outplay at times, right? And of course, you don't accept that, but sometimes they're just better players or whatever it may be. But they can see 2 for corner kicks. Not acceptable. Wait, a fucking player be strong.
That's what we said about Celtic a lot. They let goals in for free kicks all the time. But
Celtic still look vulnerable for set pieces. As you seen last night.
It's not a big team. I would like to sort the defence. I think I've not got a problem with going forward. You know. And Ralston.
Do you know Carter Vickers and Starfield's been decent?
Ralston's playing brilliant. But they're slightly lack. They just stroll it and try and pass it across. It was like he came last week, and I thought, my God, Hart looked at him. He had to try and stop it going across the box. They should have scored.
Joe Hart's been massive.
You know, I think he's been good. Listen, Ralston, I criticise him, but he's been excellent. But I would like to see him put his head up and say, I deserve to be in here. I sometimes look up and I think, you're just not comfortable because you think you're going to get dropped. You're in the position. It's yours. Keep it. That's what I'd say. In the dressing, we talk about it. That's what I would do. It's my position. Nobody's getting this position. That's what I think Ralston's got to get that. You know, lift his head up a lot more. I just, I think he's...
Play with an arrogance.
You're a hard man to please.
When you're at Celtic and Rangers, you've got to have an arrogance, you know, ain't so?
Yeah.
I think you have. I think you've just got to say, this is mine, I'm keeping it.
One man it does. Rogic last night in the first half, mate, was...
Tremendous.
You had big Rogic on a piece of string.
What was the midfield last night?
McGregor, Turnbull, Rogic. But McGregor, fair play to McGregor and Rogic, we criticised them for off the ball, but the third goal comes for Rogic winning the ball back quick, so they've got better at that.
He looks as if he's lost a lot, Rogic, away as well.
No, it's like we say, mate, hard work.
Yeah.
The difference in them.
But what I'm going to put a massive warning out to Sky Sports.
Mate, didn't I get me started?
If you don't put any games on, that's twice now that we've come across this, which is disgusting because the games were outstanding last night. I mean, the full fixture list was unbelievable. I mean, Scottish football was in a great place now. That's twice now. First strike, pass the Rainier to open goal, and we'll fucking show the games.
Yes.
Simple as that, Si. You can do the midweek games, and me and Big Kevin will do the weekend. It's no accept, Si.
What do we do?
Each other.
We're crowd.
Late night, man, you're doing it, the crowd, you're cheering. But listen, it's an absolute disgrace.
I mean, you're right.
I mean, the games last night, and you can't get to see them. The Slines are running about and trying to get a link fucking anywhere.
Your dad was out with that, yeah.
He's done it on that line. You want that yet? But it's not good enough. I mean, it's not. I mean, the whole league, you're getting to see every league in the world but you can't see Scottish football.
You're right.
If you don't want to take responsibility of showing it, pass the reins there.
Pass it to those who are willing.
And we'll do it. Listen, and it's because it's and I know it's a wee bit, we're having a bit of tongue in cheek there, Si. My point is, if you ain't going to take it serious, pass it here, because I think it's a disgrace. And I hope what I do hope now is the Sky pundits, every single one of them, if they've got anything about them, the next time Sky show a game, as soon as it comes on air, have a pop at the people who make the decisions behind the scenes, saying we want to be working on this, because there was a bronc fixture last side.
Is there a title race?
100%, Simon. 1%. I remember you said, Si, it wasn't going to be a title race this year, and I said that right at the start of the season. So yet again,
you're right.
Do you know what I mean? But, no, listen, at the start of the season, it didn't look, Si, it did look Rangers were going to run away with it.
The new team Celtic started with, so...
I mean, you look at Celtic's team, that's as a massive thing to Ange, what he's done in a short space of time, because it did look at the start of the season, Celtic didn't have a team, a reserve team at the start of the season, and how they've turned that around quickly, and now there's a title race on.
Your one worry for Celtic is that when guys like Rogic come out, have they got guys to go in? You see, makes the same impact.
Rangers do. Livingston, didn't have McGregor, didn't have Kyogo, and they're only the same team. Whereas, as you said, Rangers have that. So no, listen, their title race is certainly
an interesting season.
It's going to be good. See, I'm a big fan of Rogic, and last year I thought, you know, he wasn't playing. I'm thinking, get him in the team, because when he's match fit, I think there's many better in Scottish football.
No, on the ball, but I don't think he's done enough off the ball last year, like a lot of them.
I think he'll be working on it. Maybe that's why he's getting himself fitter.
Yeah.
I think he might be the go-to man that Angie's gone to, because he was manager at Australia, wasn't he? So he'll know him. I think he'll be able to talk to him, won't he?
Plays his best players.
Why you not playing me?
I love that. Always plays his best players.
No. Just for a Rangers point of view, I just think that they haven't performed. Obviously, you can see that. I mean, they've had 3 draws at home, which is not acceptable. For whatever reason, you know, there's players playing within themselves. I don't know why. You know, there's been a wee bit made of Golson with the contract scenario that's going on at the minute. So there's a bit of sorting out behind the scenes that's got to be done. But the only bonus is they're still top of the league.
Yeah, that's it.
And not playing well, but Celtic are coming. We know that. And listen, I think I knew Celtic was a slow burn, that they were going to start to get their act together. He's got a philosophy and he's going to stick with it. And if he gets better players into that setup, what you're alluding to, you know, they're going to get better. So now the challenge is there. Rangers must see that as a player, as a coach, a manager. You see what's happening across the city, you've got to react to it. So it's time to react. They've got away with things, I think, too much early on in the season. So it's time to react.
I think middle to front, you know, middle to front Celtic, I don't think there's many teams better than them. You know, and they're getting quicker. So
that's what I like about it, Frank.
I know.
It's not this 13 passes. Bang, bang, you're in the opposition's box.
And they're getting quick. But you've got to do that. I mean, that's Kyogo. I think that's that Kyogo.
What was the goal?
The runs he makes is just...
What was the goal? Was it in Europe? The one that was a pass through to Kyogo. It was a brilliant ball.
Jota.
That type of, that's how I'm saying, the people think, oh, you've got to play through the
lines.
I remember you slaughtered me for the scan and all that. You know, but sometimes that one quality ball, it just kills it. You know, and that was a great example.
Great control as well.
You need a centre forward that wants to do that.
Rangers had to find something like that last night.
And they never run onto that.
See, Hibs, we're in time for Hibs. 4 in a row.
First half they were, honestly, it was like, they're so far off. Second half they were alright.
Is that down to the manager's tactics? Would you think that he's
I think last night it was. I think we've been quite critical of Hibs players, but last night I thought.
See when you watch Jack Ross up at Pittodrie, there was something, I don't know, you just looked at his body language and there's something just wasn't quite the same with him. You know, and you go, he's not the same as he was
up to last week. Up to last week we were slotting Aberdeen. Saying about them and look at them.
But it's that type of league, isn't it?
But it could turn quick, can't it?
But the difference is, the reason I'm saying Hibs is the difference is Jack Ross Stephen Glass has only been in the job a couple of months. Jack Ross has been there a lot longer, so you shouldn't be. You should be by now. Listen, you can go on bad runs and stuff.
Aye, of course you can.
Just needs to get. I still don't see a style with Hibs. I don't see a real identity. But maybe it's hard when you're no.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm going to put myself into trouble when I speak to you.
No, it's in the English.
I get frightened when I say things.
I think Hibs' style is getting the ball at the wide players, isn't it? Boyle and Murphy and and using their pace.
I don't think you can play. I don't think you can play Cummins at there. Is it Cummins?
That was Dundee.
Oh, don't talk about Dundee.
We're coming to Dundee.
Come on.
But again, with Jack Ross, I do feel for him. It's not like he's got an amazing squad there that you'd expect him to go on big winning runs. No, there is going to be inconsistencies with that squad that Jack Ross has got.
See, now look at Jack. I know you're saying you're stopping yourself with saying things. I look at somebody and I go, something not quite right about him. And then you start to think, what's happening behind the scenes? Is somebody meddling with something? Is somebody kind of putting a wee bit in? You know, that starts taking, when I look at managers sometimes, when they don't look themselves, and he doesn't look himself. So I sometimes wonder, is there something happening behind?
Because see, if I looked at Jack Ross, right, and you finished third last year, I'm expecting this summer we're going to go, and recruitment's got to be spot on. I think Hearts, Aberdeen have recruited better than him. And that's probably where Jack Ross's frustrations come from.
Aye, that's what I'm saying. So has he got the backing behind the scenes for
Jack? There's no way he's no asked for certain players about it. You know?
He looks a wee bit troubled to me, and that's what I'm saying. And sometimes you read into things and you come up with, you put 2 and 2 together, come up with 5. But I look at him and I go, something not quite right there. And I'm thinking, is something happening?
I think
is he no go what he's want? You just says that about the recruitment. He's probably says I want da and he's no go at it. And he's frustrated, maybe angry, but he can't show that and he can't speak out, you know, because he's got a job to do.
Because they've all done it. Even St Mirren's bought decent players.
Yeah.
You know, Bro coming in, brilliant.
I thought St Mirren would be flying this season, but they're starting to get themselves going.
See, you look at Jack Ross, when you think about it, Doyle Hayes, St Mirren, Gogic, Hamilton, signed Paul McGinn for St Mirren. It's not like he's buying players for he's taking boys for teams at the bottom league and making them better. Whereas Aberdeen are going to sign Declan Gallagher, Scotland international, Scott Brown, Celtic captain. Woodburn's coming for Liverpool for
the boy.
Great example, that could be the frustration, couldn't it? That he's no been allowed that opportunity to bring that class of player in. So maybe that's
why we love you.
Great points.
Listen, fantastic points, and that's what we're here to do. That's our job, isn't it? So, is it the only league you see Ross County no win a game and then go win 5-0?
I could not believe that last night.
Oh, don't I get asked to name a coupon the other day?
I know, I'm changing all mine.
No, you can't change it all. You can't change it.
But Ross County, if you look at the weekend, I think they dominated possession against Livingston.
I think they've been playing well, but they I thought, no, they've not got Malky's. You know, he'll be doing well now. He'll be delighted with that last week. And the confidence that will give him. You know, they're going to be at the weekend probably. Who'd they go to the weekend?
Scratching my head with Dundee because I watched them early this season. You've heard me saying play some good football. I look at their squad. I even looked at their team last night and I went, wow, what a flair, invention in that side, pace, you know, dynamism, and I thought, by the way, they could turn Ross County here, and then the next thing, the end of the game, 5-0, and I'm going, wow, that's how hard it is to pick a coupon, you know. So I think I might be changing my coupon slightly.
What was it? Who was ringing round for Paul McMillan getting taken off in the 39th minute? They were going mental about that.
Yeah, I think he's the fans' favourite up there, but I think Jazzy just wanted to change it, didn't he? I think they were 3-2 at the time. So if you're a manager, you would be making changes.
No, 100%, but you'd be taking me on that off, wouldn't you? Aye. That was the case. But
one thing Ross County do have, and they had it under Yogi as well, is pace up top in the wide areas. And
it's big White in there, they go big job.
White up front,
he just leads the eyes, the focal point, they'll get pace, run about them, that. It's took them a wee while to get going. But what?
As I said, they've been playing well the last couple of weeks, just no good results.
Yeah.
So,
throws a span on the WhatsApp result.
Mate, it's a race at the bottom as well, eh? Good league.
I know.
It's a brilliant league, that's it. And you don't know how hard is it to pick a coupon. Did any of you get a coupon up last week? I don't know.
No.
I don't get to
how hard is it? Because every game's a 50-50.
You were better than us and you weren't even here.
Every game you just don't know. It's so hard to predict.
Brilliant league, absolutely brilliant.
I've got
this week. Mine's is up.
St Johnstone Hearts draw last night. Motherwell St.
So Hearts still unbeaten.
I listened to it on the radio, Derek.
Hearts still unbeaten.
Hearts still unbeaten, which is
and the fans are still going mad.
Have they got?
I listened to it.
I listened to
it on the radio last night, and the fact the fans are booing and stuff. I mean, it's an unbelievable start to the season for Hearts, and even that result, St Johnstone, is it away from home?
Why didn't you like them? Why? What's this?
I think they've just got high expectations.
No, I think they need a wee reality check. The Hearts fans. You know, I've got a wee soft spot for Hearts, but come on, what Robbie's done there.
Oh, brilliant!
It is brilliant. You know, and you look at the tally, the points tally is good at the moment, coming up. They've not been beat.
I know.
Incredible.
Do you know that Andy Halliday in your team is impressive?
That's the biggest thing for me. It's the biggest thing for me.
But the fact that he's doing it with Andy,
and he's upset a lot as well, isn't he? Andy's upset.
Cries all the time.
Upset.
Robbie's got a lot.
I listened to it on the radio last night, Si, and supposedly the football they played was out of this world in the second half.
Yeah.
On the radio, the guy was saying, he's like, this is unbelievable, St Johnstone are hanging on here.
Because you did text me saying I'm listening to the radio.
Aye, what radio? What
So
were you
was
listening
it
to?
on the laptop or was it an actual wee wireless?
No, on my phone.
Oh, your phone.
So you're just sitting with your phone at your ear?
Aye,
So
with
who
my
you
lights
listening
set.
to? BBC Radio Scotland?
I don't know, my
Who you
lights
listening
No, listen, it was, I can't remember, but I think it was the one, what's the main one?
BBC Sports.
BBC.
Aye, so it's, but I put it on the
When he's
normal
on.
one and it's like all the...
Who was on?
Wee Richie Foster was on.
Was he good?
I was no bad, Wee
Richie's
Richard. Wee
alright.
Richard was on. I can't remember all their names actually, I don't really... I've never listened to radio before, but because there was no games
You know
on.
that's who this man's usually on?
I know, I thought I was going to be on, I was trying to when your game came up, but I
You not
didn't.
getting a gig with him anymore
Oh,
now?
I think he might have retired me. I'm a bit worried now.
Nah, you're alright.
Aye.
COVID's alright.
I would love to do one, like I'd love like to be on something, like see if we done it here and somebody goes, right, we're going to go out to the stadium and obviously I've got a
I could
headset
see
on.
you doing that.
see you
I
do
could-
But I would love to then mingle, like talk to the fans while the game not's going on, do you know what I mean? Don't know if I'd take it serious or not, or try shout at the manager, I don't know.
Come on, I
Right,
got
geez,
you a gig last season.
I know,
and
but do you know what, I swear to God,
Well, Hamilton.
two things have happened to me and Derek. First time I ever met him, I was a wee bit worried because of I had never met you before, and obviously me and Barry when I was at Clyde, obviously I left and stuff, and then I came on the podcast, did a few jokes about Clyde. So the night before I met you, the first show we ever done together, I was shitting myself. Jen, like, go take that because I sound like an idiot.
Aye, indeed.
So I remember shitting myself, and this is an absolute complete touch of class. So I've walked in, done the show, you were brilliant. You're walking out at the end of the show, and he goes, "Come here a minute." He goes, "If you ever need it in or you're, just give a phone." And I just thought a complete touch of class. The last year was the one, the Hamilton one when I was going
Right,
to
you're fighting each other?
No, that one.
Oh, go maybe gig.
Oh, the gig you
Yeah,
had, sorry.
And I can remember seeing in his eyes that I'd let him down.
Could have been the start of something beautiful for you.
I know, you let him
That's
down.
what I was
What, as
wanting
a
to see.
commentator?
I just want to see him do
on
well
TV.
on.
I worry with myself because I never write it down what I say or think what I'm going to say, so anything could come out my mouth.
I know, that's good.
You know
Anything can go in it as well.
That's good. That'd be better entertainment.
But that's makes it realistic then, doesn't it?
No, so
Have you done the radio, Frank? Did you ever do stuff like that?
No.
Back in the day?
Did you not get papped up?
He'd be the same. He'd be similar to you, mate. You wouldn't know what's going to come out his mouth.
Did you
No,
not
I
get
get-
papped up?
Did you not see him on St Mirren TV?
No.
I don't know, there was a lovely lady that was on it, you know, and he couldn't...
Ali, she's my pal.
I know.
What was her name?
Ali Foy. She's nice.
that?
Did you get chucked off?
No.
What was it?
No.
I've met her a
Man's
few
my
weeks
club.
ago.
You'd be good at that.
I'm good at that. I love it over there.
You just stick to the
Yes.
big venues.
Aye.
I wouldn't go to this. What was it, Easter
I
Road?
went to lower himself.
No, for
Lower
me.
himself.
Right, Cooping time.
Okay, I know. Right.
You want to be, wait, have a look.
Aye, because I make
Right, on you go. I'm going to change
Who
it.
the fuck went 4 draws? You?
Well, there was 3-4 draws last night, wasn't there?
Right.
So,
I'm not changing mine. So
Right,
you
Frank,
want to
you
do
go
me.
first.
right,
Right.
go on.
St Mirren v Dundee, Francis.
I am going, especially after last
Something
night's
like that.
result, St Mirren. When they were 2-0 down, I thought, well, I'll change my result. But then,
Mate.
I thought they pulled it back, so I'm going for St Mirren. There you are, home
What
one.
back? Yeah, what, your top 6 shouts?
I know,
Team
you.
phase, but you know your stuff. Aberdeen versus Hearts. Oh, I cannot believe you've went that.
Aberdeen, there you are.
Oof.
I think that's two great. I think that's two great
That's a
results.
draw written all over it.
That's two great results that Aberdeen said. You know, and they should have maybe get better out of Ibrox last night. So Aberdeen for me.
He looks good in a white shirt, I'll tell you that, Stephen Glass.
He does look smart.
He does. It's a right good fit.
No, he does look good.
That is, do you know, do you not agree? In a white shirt, he looks very smart.
isn't he?
Celtic versus Livingston.
Celtic v Livingston.
He's a scorer in this one as well, please.
Oh, it's going to be, I think it's going to be +2 for Celtic there.
Okay. Dundee United versus St Johnstone.
That's going to be a good game, I think. But I think Dundee United will take the home advantage. So there you go. 4
Dundee United
homes.
another draw last night.
4
against
homes. There you go.
Livingston. Okay, 4
It's a bit like
homes.
myself. I've got 4 homes.
Derek, you want to ask your boy? Since that, after
Right,
that,
aye.
sick, we're nearly sick in my mouth, used to talking about each other there, so on you go.
Right, there we
it's
go.
just-
Right,
it's terrible.
Slaney.
Talk
So,
to me like that again, I'll
do you
punch
know
it.
Call him
something?
son, call him son, call him son.
With my thing, I'm going to plump for this.
Plump. Oh, good lump. Good plump.
I'm going to... St Mirren, plump.
Oh, plump
for
for
this.
this.
Aye,
Sorry.
this
Sorry.
result that he's
Can you
come
call
up
him son?
with. So, right, my boy.
Yeah,
I love
I
my
like
boy.
that.
I love
I
my
like
boy. St Mirren versus Dundee, Slaney.
Look, before the games last night, had a draw. But Dundee will need to come back, fire back after that result last night, so I'm going to go for a home win St Mirren.
Right, so you're changing that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Home win St Mirren,
Right, so I'm
Go on, buddies.
going for a drop. Right, this is interesting. I'll probably go with this as well. Aberdeen versus Hearts.
I actually think Aberdeen might nick it, but I'm going to stick with my gut and stick a draw. I'm going to stick with a draw.
I would think
You can't
so
do your boy Andy dirty. So
No, I go with draw. Andy gets a late minute strike, didn't it?
Right. Ross
Ball goes on, the
County.
ground goes in.
Slaney, Ross County flying after last night.
flying.
Ross County versus Hibs. That's a difficult
That's a
one.
good one. That's a good
That's
one.
So
home win.
You've
win.
initially
Away
put a
win.
draw
I've
down
initially
here.
put a draw in.
No, Hibs will beat them.
Hibs are
Hibs will beat 'em.
4 in a row now.
Hibs will beat
I'm going to go 5 in a row for Hibs. I'm going to go for a Ross County home win.
Oh,
Brilliant.
God,
Yeah,
very
I think
good.
so.
And last but not least, Dundee United versus St Johnstone.
Poor result for Dundee United last night. 45 minutes we were playing against 10 men, must make it count.
Good analysation.
Great, and I'm going to go for a draw here again. Nothing really
Draw.
between the teams.
Done
Are
yet?
you?
Oh, it's your two boys.
Tight.
Mulgrew and Devlin.
Very
And you
tight.
went to draw, you've shot it. Pick one, come on.
Who? Devlin?
Oh, that was last night, sorry.
By the way, which Charlie? Did you see Charlie?
Ali, you're right, it's the wee guy, Ali Crawford.
What was that wee dancing footwork he done out in the way?
Charlie?
Charlie.
Blanked out, didn't he,
Brilliant.
for
The guys like,
Dundee United St
guys
Johnstone.
That man's just got a wonderful
The guys
touch.
are giving a wee
That's
paid in again.
He done him dirty, didn't he?
Oh, he done him big
He done him
time.
dirty. So last night, who did you want to win? His two best pals are Nicky Devlin, played at Livingston, Charlie McGrath for Dundee United. Who were you rooting for?
Well,
This could cause uproar.
no, Rossin, I'll be blunt about this and very upfront.
I know exactly what you're going to say here.
Nicky's never made a fucking penny in the game. Charlie's a multi-millionaire, so I was desperate for Charlie to win. So I'm going to go into Derek.
Right.
Oh, you're going to go on him?
Oh,
Just get used to
No
it.
problem.
Do you know what I'm actually
Is this
disgusted
Love
with?
Island?
That's not me, innit? No.
Is this Love Island?
So see you on, just to let the public know,
You getting jealous?
Derek's in
Aye,
it.
you're a bit
Derek
jealous.
Derek said that Dundee would win originally. St Mirren versus Dundee. Do you want to change your mind or do you want to
I
stick
think
with your
I
guns?
think I will change my mind.
Oh, you're not one of them, are you?
Yes, I'm one of them. Aye. I'm going to go with a draw because Dundee will tighten up. I think I've got to, obviously,
think?
after losing 5 goals.
Do you think?
And St Mirren are playing pretty well at the moment, so I'm going to go with a 2 each. Nah, do you know that?
Right.
1 each, 2 each, but it's a draw. So I've changed my mind. Draw.
Dundee United St Johnstone.
I'm going to stick with my prediction. I think Dundee United, and I know you
Well
says
done.
that maybe they were playing against 10 men, but I think they'll just have a wee bit too much for St Johnstone. St Johnstone well organised, but I'm going to go with Dundee United. Home advantage counts here.
Oh, lovely. Celtic Livingston.
They're playing some of the best football
Yep.
this man has seen in years. So, they're
My type of
Mark has
football.
said that.
For me-
Mark is at home, middle to front. You know, they're terrific going forward.
Do you want
And
to
I
get out
just-
with Peterhead, bring the fullbacks in?
You got any fullbacks?
But they're midfield players. So that's what I was thinking last night. Can I do that with them?
I would die.
Aye.
100%.
I love it, mate.
What was the manager going to? Yeah,
No, I'm saying if I ever do get a job,
opportunity.
do you could do that in League One?
100%. Roger said it to you, you can do it with MD.
Aye.
It's just,
Sorry, mate, I just went off track.
I
Yeah.
know.
No, that's all right.
Yeah, well done. You
Well,
get
I'm
the
gonna
manager's
go-
job. Well done.
No.
You'll never leave us.
Do you could do that with a
You'll
junior
never
team?
leave us.
Or get a junior team?
You make too much money and you
you're
go
no
to
side.
leave. Get a job in football.
Size.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Full time.
They don't offer you enough money in football.
You might have been full time. I know a wee job that would suit you, don't you? A tea.
Off, me and
You
you.
got a full-time job.
Aye, but there's.
Open goal. You
but
make fortunes.
but this
Got
would
Bentley
still,
that outside.
this full
Do this
time
for
would,
free.
would still allow him to kind of do this sort
Right.
of kind of.
Talk after the show.
Aye.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with Celtic. Livingston have recovered of late. You've been playing a wee bit better, you know, but still going to go with
if you don't
Celtic.
mind me asking that, what was the score be?
Oh, I would say 3-0.
Celtic.
Celtic, aye.
If you don't mind me asking the goal scorer, please.
Oh,
Or Rogic,
double G.
Attendance.
Turnbull. Attendance, I would say, I don't know, about 56,000.
And the goals.
543.
Aye,
If you don't mind me keeping it going, who will set the goals up?
aye. No, aye.
I think McGregor and Turnbull. I'm giving you too much information.
What
by the
road
way.
should you use if there's roads blocked off?
it called
for the
Toilet
toilet
London?
citizens?
London was
the
shut.
old Belvedere Hospital used to be there.
Aye.
My ma used to work in there.
Aye.
Brilliant.
Any
So she
hospital.
did, aye. I'm for the East End of Glasgow. I'm a wee guy that was brought up in Ballantrae, Shuttleson.
You're really one of us, aren't you? You're
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay, Derek, sorry for putting you under the cosh there. Motherwell against Rangers. That is massive, Motherwell Rangers, isn't it?
And it's always a kind of difficult venue for Rangers going there. They got a draw last night, Motherwell. They've been playing pretty well this season. But listen, they need a wee kick up the backside, Rangers. And they need to get a little bit more back. And I think they'll be fired up on Sunday, 12 o'clock kick-off.
Yes.
Earlier at Fir Park. And I'll be sitting watching it with a wee glass of something nice.
Oh, lovely.
Well done.
Simply lovely. What are you going to have? What, a glass of what?
I'm not too sure. I mean, the Chancellor said, Prosecco and all that. And
Oh, no, you don't need that.
Oh, I'm drinking it, you know me. Well,
What's Andy Carroll with her cakes?
I know that's what cakes in a while.
Listen, no, then
that lady's been, she's not been too well.
Oh,
we're looking after you. Looking after you.
So, aye, she's fine. But
She got COVID.
The cakes will be delivered.
She got COVID.
What? Well, aye, me and her were.
My birthday month.
She got her.
We're like that.
His birthday. Derek, his birthday.
Remember the last time you got me the Celtic cake with the Rangers
When's
in
your
the middle?
birthday? When's your birthday?
November 25th.
Done on my belter.
I know.
Do you know what? I'm not even joking. My birthday falls on a Thursday this week.
I know.
When is your birthday?
Oh, why don't we go after it?
Mine's the 22nd.
When is it?
These 22nd of November.
November, right?
There you go.
25th of November, it's a Thursday this year.
I'm
Well,
22nd.
we're in this, so you'll get your
Guess you have a double part. I think we're going to be for it.
I'm going to be.
Why don't you two go away somewhere?
I'm going to Antigua.
Antigua?
That's it.
Where is that?
Why don't you
Caribbean.
do this or your open goal
Oh,
face?
Spend some money for the hydro. Go to Antigua.
Glasgow, innit? Glasgow boys.
Do you want to for my birthday go away in there, show?
Tenerife.
You know exactly where.
Amsterdam.
Where?
Amsterdam. Have you still got the women's phone numbers there?
That was a joke, remember that one? I don't want to end it today.
No, it's been great. I enjoyed that.
I need to end it because my parking tickets.
Go. Oh, is it?
Aye, so I need to make I need to bolt.
What's you put on it?
Pound,
What's the
miserable
put in it?
set. Miserable set.
It's about 180, 2, whatever it is. It's a wee bit cheaper across the.
West End, you didn't get parking guys up here.
Where'd you park?
Can I tell you?
I can't tell you, I know. I can't
Why am I acting like you? Right, that's us done.